Like I always say, a simple, not complex investigation should not last more than 18 months. One of the reports that is being released today is the accident of an Augusta Westland AW139 helicopter with nationality and registration marks of 5 November Charlie Mike Lima. Owned and operated by Coverton Helicopters Limited, which occurred on the 2nd of February 2019 in Kaba, Kogi State, Nigeria. The helicopter had 12 persons on board, including the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, his entourage, and 3 crew members, which included the captain, the co-pilot, and an engineer. The 4 reports we are releasing today are as follows. 1. Report on the serious incident involving Bombardier DHC-8 Q400 aircraft owned and operated by Aero Contractors Company of Nigeria Limited with nationality and registration mark 5 November Bravo Papa uniform, which occurred flight level 240, 80 nautical miles to Lagos on the 18th April 2017. Number 2, the report on the serious incident involving a Diamond DA-42 aircraft with nationality and registration mark 5N Bravo November Hotel, owned and operated by International Aviation College, which occurred on runway 23 Ilorin International Airport on 1st of May 2019. Number 3, report on the serious incident involving Diamond 40 aircraft with nationality and registration mark 5N Bravo Romeo Mike, owned and operated by International Aviation College, which occurred on runway 23 Ilorin International Airport on 27th March 2014. Number 4, report on the accident involving Augusta Westland AW139 helicopter operated by Coverton Helicopters Limited with nationality and registration marks 5 November Charlie Mike Lima, which occurred at Kaba Stadium in Kogi State on 2nd February 2019. The reports number 1, that's the -8 Q400 owned, operated by Aero Contractors Company of Nigeria with nationality registration mark 5 November Bravo Papa uniform, which occurred at flight level 240 at 80 nautical miles to Lagos on 18th April 2017. Synopsis. Accident Investigation Bureau was not officially notified of the serious incident, but got to know about it through social media the following day. On the 18th of April 2017, at about 17:50 hours, a Q400 aircraft with registration mark 5 November Bravo Papa uniform, operated by Aero Contractors Company of Nigeria Limited as a scheduled flight 316, while cruising at flight level 240, 80 nautical miles, inbound Lagos from Port Harcourt, experienced bluish smoke, which gradually increased in density within the cabin. The smoke progressed into the cockpit. The lavatory smoke detector, aura warning activated, and the aft baggage light illuminated on the fire panel, but there was no burning smell perceived. At 17:55 hours, the crew donned oxygen mask and requested clearance to descend. The flight 316 was cleared for immediate descent to 2,200 feet and requested to contact Lagos approach. The crew followed the fuselage fire smoke and fumes in the QRH and executed smoke warning light checklist procedure. The aircraft landed safely on runway 18 left at about 18:03 hours and taxied to Aero Contractors maintenance facility at the GAT in Lagos. The passenger disembarked normally without injuries. The investigation identified the following causal and contributory factors. Causal factor: engine oil leaked onto a hot surface of the engine, causing fumes which mixed with the engine bleed air supply to the air conditioning system. This results into smoke in the aircraft cabin, cockpit, and lavatory cargo compartment. There are 2 safety recommendations on this investigation. Safety recommendation 1, Aero Contractors Company of Nigeria should ensure cockpit and cabin crew are alive to their responsibilities during emergencies vis-a-vis establishing effective two-way communication. Safety recommendation number 2 on this serious incident is to Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to ensure that operators utilize the new oil analysis technology made available by Pratt & Whitney Canada in order to identify impending failure of the cabin seal on the engines that are yet to comply with SB 35342R1. The final report on the second occurrence, it's on Diamond 42 aircraft with nationality and registration mark 5 November Bravo November Hotel, owned and operated by International Aviation College, which occurred on runway 23 Ilorin International Airport on 1st of May 2019. Synopsis: the accident involved a Diamond 42 aircraft with nationality and registration mark 5 November Bravo November Hotel, which occurred on runway 23 Ilorin International Airport. The flight was a commercial pilot license mock test with 2 persons on board, a flight instructor and a student pilot, with the flight instructor flying while the student pilot was monitoring. At about 0913 hours, 5 November Bravo November Hotel took off from runway 23 Ilorin International Airport to sector 1 Charlie IC 1C and reported established at 0928 hours. Several maneuvers were carried out, including steep turn, stall in all configuration, emergency descent, 1 engine inoperative procedure, etc., etc. After 2 hours of flying at the training area, 5 November Bravo November Hotel was cleared back to the field of RNAV, VOR hold, and ILS approach and missed approach exercises. At 11:12 hours, the aircraft 5 November Bravo November Hotel reported right downwind runway 23, requesting full stop landing and was granted. The flight instructor did his pre-landing checks. At about 11:15 hours, the aircraft touched down with gears up on the runway center line at a distance of 1,387 meters from the threshold, veered right of the runway center line, and stopped 205 meters from the touchdown point, 9 meters to the right of the runway center line. The incident occurred in daylight. The investigation identified the following causal and contributory factors. The causal factor: the crew carried out the approach and landed with landing gears not extended. Contributory factors: inadequate crew coordination during the approach to landing phase of flight. 2, Lack of situation awareness on the position of the landing gear by the flight crew during approach to land. 3, the inappropriate execution of approach and landing checklist. 3 safety recommendations were made. 1, NCA should intensify its oversight on International Aviation College and ensure that it adheres strictly to the use of checklists and appropriate procedures during all training sessions and phases of flight. Safety recommendation number 2, International Aviation College should improve on its crew resource management training vis-a-vis the need for trainees to be assertive when necessary. Safety recommendation number 3, NAMA should devise means to ensure duty air traffic controllers maintain continuous watch on all aircraft movements within the vicinity of the aerodrome. The number 3 report for today, it's a serious incident involving a Diamond DA40 aircraft with nationality and registration mark 5 November Bravo Romeo Mike, owned and operated by International Aviation College, which occurred on runway 23 Ilorin International Airport on 27th March 2014. Synopsis. On 27 March 2014, at about 10:26 hours, a Diamond DA40 aircraft was on training flight with a student pilot and an instructor. After 2 successful landings under supervision of the instructor, the student pilot was released for his first solo flight. The instructor disembarked and the student pilot proceeded to fly solo. The student pilot took off flying the runway 23 circuit and executed a touch and go landing, requesting a full stop on the second landing, which ATC granted. On the second landing at touchdown, the aircraft lost directional control and veered off left of runway 23 center line into the grassy area. The air traffic controller sounded the crash alarm, and the aerodrome rescue and firefighting services arrived at the site of the accident thereafter. The student pilot disembarked the aircraft without injury. The investigation identified the following causal and contributing factors. Causal factor: loss of directional control after touchdown and subsequent veer off the aircraft off the runway. Contributing factor: wrong engine power application during landing roll. 2 safety recommendations were made. 1, International Aviation College should have in place a stringent flight training policy to discourage disruption of students' training during the stipulated period. 2, International Aviation College should develop and incorporate in their training manual procedures to ensure that corrective actions are developed and implemented to prevent observed deficiencies, such as exceeding required minimum hours for solo flights, duly signed out by instructor and records kept in the student's file prior to conducting a solo flight. The last one for the day is the final report on the accident involving Augusta Westland AW139 helicopter operated by Coverton Helicopters Limited with nationality and registration mark 5 November Charlie Mike Lima, which occurred at Kaba, Kogi State on 2nd February 2019. Synopsis. On 2nd February 2019 at about 0726 hours, an Augusta Westland NW139 helicopter with nationality and registration mark 5 November Charlie Mike Lima, operated by Coverton Helicopters Limited, departed Lagos for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja to conduct a VIP charter flight from Abuja to Okene via Kaba and return to Abuja. The positioning flight to Abuja was normal. The helicopter was refueled, and the flight crew prepared for the VIP charter flight to Kaba. At about 1346 hours, the helicopter departed Abuja runway 22 for Kaba. On board were 12 persons, including the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, his entourage, and 3 crew members, comprised of the pilot, the co-pilot, and an engineer. The flight crew stated that they sighted the intended landing area as a result of the cloud of residual dust generated by the downwash of a police helicopter. After sighting the football field, the flight crew approached with a speed of 20 knots to about 100 feet and entered a hover to land. At about 50 feet above ground level, a brownout set in. The flight crew lost visual contact with the ground and external surroundings. The co-pilot began radio altitude call-out 35, 30, 25, 20, 15. At about 1434 hours, the helicopter experienced a hard landing on the right main landing gear and rolled over onto its right side. All persons on board were evacuated uninjured. Causal factor. The flight crew encountered a brownout condition during the over to land, which led to the loss of external visual references, spatial disorientation, and loss of situation awareness resulting in a misjudgment of distance and ground clearance. As the flight crew tried to control the helicopter's movement for landing, the helicopter landed hard and rolled over on its right side. Contributory factor: inappropriate landing technique used, non-adherence to company procedures for known or anticipated brownout condition during landing and lack of risk assessment, limited landing site preparation, and planning prior to commencement of this flight. 11 days after the accident, the AIB issued 2 interim safety recommendations, one to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and one to Coverton Helicopters. The required safety actions were initiated and implemented promptly. There are 2 safety recommendations issued in this final report. One is to Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to conduct a safety management system audit of Coverton Helicopters. The SMS audit by the NCA should ensure that Coverton Helicopters has implemented the immediate safety recommendation 2019-003. The NCA All Operators Letter FSD 002 and the recommendation documented in the Coverton Helicopter internal SMS investigation of this accident. The NCA audit should also ascertain that Coverton Helicopter internal safety management system processes in the maintenance activities require the establishment, reasons/causes of equipment failure, malfunction, references made to the failure of the multipurpose flight recorder, and unavailability of the reasons of the failure. Safety recommendation number 2 on this report is to the Office of the National Security Advisor. I should consider whether the Presidential Air Fleet Unit should be involved in the coordination and preparation of all high-profile executive VIP mission flights in order to ensure that all executive VIP flights are conducted in accordance with the PAF unit standard and in line with its approved operating procedures. Thank you very much.